Falconer TRX, and I'm going to segue this into a question that I posted here on the channel here in just a second. Falconer TRX with this one. Miami winning the Natty is a plus 3,000 according to Vegas. Should I bet $100? So just to explain to anyone who's not in the betting, no, the $100 would produce the $3,000 if you laid it down, and Miami did in fact win the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not?
It depends if you got the $100 to play.
Yeah, right. If you have
Yes.
whatever the amount is.
If you
right?
got 77 cents in the bank, I would not
Right.
want you to be betting
Right.
$100 on anyone.
Don't put the rent or mortgage money on this. This is play money, right? If you have the play money for 100, 500, 1,000 even, or what, something reasonable, or hey, if you have more money than that, then good luck. But I would say that's a decent bet. It's not a guarantee, and you could likely be just giving away your money, but this is not, it's not unreasonable. It's unlikely, and I know everyone's saying, well, we haven't won a national championship in 25 years. True, so that should impact your mentality, but with the best roster in the ACC, and a clear path to the college football playoff, which is where you need to go to win a national championship, whether you're playing in the first round or not. Yeah, I think that's not unreasonable. But this for entertainment purposes only. Do what you feel with your own money.
The field is the best bet against anyone. So no one has a great bet to win the national championship. So whoever's number one right now, I'm guessing it's either Texas, Ohio State, maybe Penn State. They're not even a good bet because obviously you're taking a shot is what you're doing. And you're taking a very profitable shot there, Falconer TRX. So I agree with Cam. It's likely not to happen, but hey, that's a good payoff for $100. Absolutely. And if you can miss the $100 like it's nothing, take a shot. It's a reasonable shot, especially for a team that, to Cam's point, projects as one of the more likely, again, not that the odds are on their side because there is a Clemson out there and a bunch of other teams, but as good of odds to win the conference. And then boom, unless they change things and they're talking about it for 2025, you're in the playoff and you may have a bye after you win the ACC.
All things true.
So we talked about this last week, and we framed it up as a national championship run or a deep playoff run. I posted this as a national championship by 2030, and this goes to show you that fans are biased, and because this is way too heavy, and I'm not piling on Miami. I would say this about almost anyone, but the yes for a national championship. So you're talking 25 through 30. You've got 6 seasons to get it done. Mm-hmm. Yes at 80%, no at 20%.
That's very hopeful. But Miami is on that kind of trajectory. Miami has that kind of talent on the roster, but needs everything to come together. The offense last year, best in America. The fact that we didn't even make the college football playoff is just so deflating. And just such a terrible, terrible miss. I'm talking to a specific person right now. Stop texting my phone because you see me on here talking. I will talk to you later, and stop hating. I'm talking to a very specific person. They know who they are on my phone hating. I'm talking about Miami will never win. Look. Miami has the talent on the roster to be able to win, right? And to the point that my phone was interrupting me from, just need a little bit of luck of things to be aligned. And the offense was there. The defense, clearly not. One of the worst in Power 5, one of the worst in America, needed a singular stop at Syracuse and couldn't get it. And that was the thing that stopped not being able to be there is what kept Miami from the college football playoff. And then you get to the college football playoff and whatever happens, right? But it's really, yeah, it's I think it's speculative to say like to an 80% certainty that like Miami will win a championship in the next 6 years. But when you have the most talent in the ACC, when you continue in high school recruiting and transfer portal to be at the top of the sport and have the talent across the roster that we have, it puts you in the conversation. But this is why and how Miami has struggled. It's with development and deployment and just and having moments, having positive moments. And even when we started these shows 400 and 500 whatever shows ago, Mark and I, one of the things that I said often then during the Al Golden era was Miami needs a program changing play. Someone to step up in a positive way and make a legendary play, because like we kept losing to Virginia and Georgia Tech, and like these moments were, they were sands through the hourglass, like just fleeting and going through our fingers, and just a missed tackle here and a tipped ball interception, but it should have been an interception, but they catch it and run for a touchdown, like just so infinitesimally close to the moment, right? Because we all remember, if I say Sean Taylor FSU, bang, every last one of you say, oh, in the rain, and he did this and he did that. I'm not even saying this and that and the other thing and the thing past that. I've been looking for one of those. And if I were to say in the past decade, if we've had a moment like that, go ahead, Mark.
Hard Rock 2017 Notre Dame.
Trajan Bandy. Like, yeah. I'm talking about a player and a specific play, like not even general, but that play. They break out the chain again, true freshman Trajan Bandy. That play, that's the kind of legendary program-changing moment that we're waiting for. But at this point in 2025, I'm going back to 2017 for the most recent one. And past that, who knows the free fall that I would be taking through the annals of history, right? So I say all of that to say, when you have better players, you can have better plays, right? Look at Cam Ward. And I think when you have the kind of talent on this roster, that is potentially possible, but it has to be there. And the things have to all come together in that perfect synergy. You think of the University of Georgia. Let's use them for an example. I think the University of Georgia could have won a national championship before they won a championship. And that pass by Aaron Murray got tipped and caught at the 1.5 yard line. If that ball falls incomplete, I feel very confident that then Coach Mark Richt would have drawn something up. They go score. They win that game. They're the best team in America that year. They win the national championship. And the margin is that small that the tip of a finger and a player selling out for his team and doing what he was taught to do. I'm going to dive. I'm going to get that ball because I'm a receiver and that's what I'm supposed to do, and did it. Right? So I can't be mad at the player for making. I mean, you're not going to be mad at Restrepo for making a catch on his back on 4th down, right? You're not going to. He made an incredible play in a circumstance where that play cost them a championship. And it's that close. Those are the margins, right? And I use the University of Georgia as a specific example. So like everything was there and it just didn't curl over. But that was a great team. That was a very talented team who was that close. But it didn't line up. So I say all of that to say, if Miami has the talent that I believe that we have, that everybody in America who follows the sport believes that they have, if things come together, Miami could actually reasonably win. Now, there are mental hurdles and there are other things going on with that, right? Of look, you got to slay dragons, and you got to get to the moment and get through the moment. You got to learn how to win, and you got to do these things on big stages. All of those things are concerns, but it is not unreasonable on its face to think that Miami could win one. I'm just not on an 80% certainty within the next 6 years that it will happen, with all these other variables to take into account. And currently, how far we need the defense to go from where it was last year to really put that in a reasonable window. Because, yeah, you need the reconstruction of that defense to be pretty immediate. So I'm not saying that, we're going to win one this year, but it is reasonable. I don't share the level of certainty that the pollsters on the website had.
The only manner in which I'll push back on that analogy, and I enjoyed that, because my goodness, those were the two best teams in college football playing, and of course, Alabama went on to just completely just stomp over Notre Dame, and Georgia likely would have done exactly the same. Is that Georgia team? And then I thought you were actually going to the Georgia teams with Kirby Smart, because obviously once he took over, boom, second year, he's in a national championship game, and he's got Tua back on 2nd and 26. It looks like they're going to close it out. They don't. Then they keep SEC title game against Bama. They're the two best teams, and and it takes them 5 years, and then they get it done. Ohio State, you could say the same thing. Undefeated, lose to Michigan, lose here, lose there. Can't get it done. Boom, they push it in. But those teams were like that close.
Right. And
Miami's not.
Right. But it just extends my point that even if you're that close,
okay,
that doesn't mean immediate success. Like, I was just using one, but yeah, there are many, many other things. So yeah, it's possible, but yeah, I think that Miami's a little further away.